Okay, so it looks like we have a vacant lot. It's being converted into a community garden. The garden and the walkway around its perimeter have an area of 460 square feet. Find the width of the walkway if the garden is 12 feet wide and 15 feet long. So several things here. First of all, we're wanting the width of the walkway. We know the area of the garden and the walkway around it. So we're looking at the area is going to be this length times width, right? Because it's the area of the garden and walkway is an area equals 460 square feet. Remember, area is always in square footage. Okay, so we know that. So here, this would be my length, and this is my width. What else do we know? Find the width of the walkway if the garden is 12 feet wide by 15 feet long. Okay, so we know the width of the garden, and we're just trying to find the width of the walkway. So we're going to use this area here. Remember, how do we find area of a rectangular shape? It's length times width. So since we're talking about the area of the whole garden plus the walkway, I need to know the length of the garden and the walkway. Well, all we know is the width of the walkway is the same. It's x all the way around. So the length is going to be that 15 here. Let's see, 15 plus the two widths of the garden. So basically I'm going to see here, I'm going to take this, so there's my 15, and then we need to add this x, and that will give us this total length right here. So length equals x plus 15 plus x. So that is going to be 2x plus 15. So that's the length of the garden plus the walkway. And we're going to do the same thing with the width. We're looking at the width, which is 12, and then we're going to add these x's to come up with this total width. So my width is going to be, so it looks like I have x plus 12 plus x, which is 2x plus 12. Okay. And actually this is a plus here. It almost looks like a x or a multiplication. That's a plus. Okay. So here's my width and here's the length, and I'm going to use that so we can find the width of the walkway, which is x, because x is the width. So area, we were given that. That's 460 square foot of the area of the garden and the walkway. The length of the garden and the walkway is going to be 2x plus 15 times the width, which is 2x plus 12. And we need to simplify this. We're going to FOIL or multiply these two binomials. So that's going to be 4x squared plus 24x plus 30x plus, and 15 times 12. 15 times 12 is 180. 4x squared plus 24x plus 30x is 54x plus 180. Let's subtract. Since we're solving a quadratic, we want to set it equal to 0. All right, don't need that there just yet. So subtract 460 from both sides. That becomes 0 equals 4x squared plus 54x, and then 180. Read my own writing. 460 minus 180 is going to be what? 0.8, 280. So, and it's a negative 280. So this is the quadratic we need to solve for x to see what the width of the walkway is. I would look to see, do we have a greatest common factor? So I'm wondering if 4 will divide into these. So let's check that out. Of course, 4 goes into 4 one time. Let's try what's 54 divided by 4. If I can factor greatest. Oh, it doesn't go into 54. We can see if 2 does. Like 2. And it does. So we can divide them all by 2. So let's do that. That's going to be, I'm going to factor out a 2. That leaves me with 2x squared plus, and that was 27x, and then this would be 140. Again, I just factored out a 2, and that's just to make these numbers a little smaller so I can divide by 2. And that was 0, 2x squared, because these 2's cancel, plus 27x minus 140. Again, we could try factoring, or we can use the quadratic formula. Again, it's really up to you, depending on what you like to do. I'm just going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula. That way, if you're not good at factoring, hopefully you can use the quadratic. So that's going to be x equals, and again, here's my a, here's my b, here's my c. Negative b, which is 27, plus or minus the square root of b squared, well, that's 27 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, and then times c, which is negative 1. I'm running out of room here, 140. So I'll put that all, and that's all divided by 2 times a, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, so let's see what's all going to be underneath this square root here. Move this over. It's clear. So it looks like I have 27 squared. 27 squared. A negative and a negative is going to give me a plus. So it's going to be plus 4 times 2 times 140. And it looks like I get 1849. So x equals negative 27 plus or minus the square root of 1849 all over 4. And I'll bring my calculator back up and let's see if that's a perfect square. I cross my fingers and we'll hope it is. 1849, enter, and it is 43. Okay. Now this is actually going to go down. Alright, so we found out that the square root of 1849 is 43. 43. And that's all over 4. Break this into 2 separate. So I have a negative 27 plus 43 over 4, or it could be negative 27 minus 43 over 4. So what is negative 27? And we'll just bring my calculator back up here. Maybe if I can find it. There it is. All right. So negative 27 plus 43 equals 16, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, so this right here becomes 4. So that sounds good. I'm having a problem with this one because I'm going to get a negative answer, and since we're talking distance, can't have a negative answer. So it looks like my solution is going to be that the walkway is 4 feet in width.